I remember standing on that makeshift stage in the community hall, the harsh lights glaring down, my heart hammering against my ribs like a trapped bird. My script, clutched in a sweaty hand, felt like a foreign object, heavy with the weight of years of unspoken ambition. This was it. Moment I'd either embrace my dream or watch it die, suffocated by the very fear that had defined my life. For as long as I could remember, stories were my refuge. Growing up in a quiet, unassuming town, I'd spend hours filling notebooks with characters and worlds, lost in the pure joy of creation. But the world, or at least my corner of it, had other plans. Be practical, I heard constantly, a well-meaning chorus from family and teachers. Find something stable. Though I pushed my notebooks deeper into drawers, silencing that creative spark, convincing myself it was just a childish fantasy. I enrolled in a degree that promised a safe, predictable career, not a fulfilling one. I graduated, got the respectable job, and found myself sitting in an office cubicle, staring at spreadsheets, feeling utterly hollow. Each evening, I'd come home exhausted, not from hard work, but from the soul-crushing effort of pretending to be someone I wasn't. Creative impulse, though suppressed, never truly died. Manifested as a nagging whisper, a constant longing. I'd start projects, a short story, a blog post, a sketch filled with a fleeting burst of inspiration. But then the doubt would creep in. Who are you to do this? There are so many better people, it's probably terrible anyway. Just like that, the momentum would die, another half-finished draft relegated to a dusty folder on my computer. The shame of all those abandoned ideas gnawed at me. I felt invisible, a shadow of the person I knew I could be. I'd scroll through social media, seeing others confidently pursuing their passions, feeling a bitter mix of admiration and resentment. Why couldn't that be me? Why was I so paralyzed? The turning point wasn't some grand epiphany under a starry sky. It was a Tuesday evening, after a particularly draining day at work. I was slumped on the couch, mindlessly scrolling, when a friend's casual comment echoed in my head from earlier that week. You always talk about wanting to create, but you never actually finish anything, do you? It wasn't malicious, just an observation, but it hit me like a physical blow. She was right. I was a professional starter, an expert at almost doing. In that moment of uncomfortable honesty, something shifted. I looked at the dusty old notebook I used to write in as a kid. I picked it up. Okay, I whispered to myself, I'm going to write for 15 minutes tonight. Just 15. No pressure for it to be good, no expectation of finishing anything. Just show up. It felt like a tiny, almost laughable commitment, but it was mine. I set a timer. My hand shook as I wrote the first clumsy sentence. It felt terrible. The internal critic screamed, "This is garbage." But I kept going for the full 15 minutes. Then I closed the notebook. That was it. Next morning, I did it again. And the next. My new rule was simple, no 0 days. Even if it was just one sentence, one paragraph, one tiny step, I would not let a day pass without touching my creative work. The grind was real, and it was often ugly. There were mornings I woke up before dawn, the house silent and cold, wanting nothing more than to pull the covers back over my head. My fingers ached, my eyes burned. The internal battle was constant. What's the point? This is still terrible. No one will care. I wanted to quit 1,000 times. I deleted entire sections, started over, felt like an absolute fraud. But I stuck to my 15 minutes, then 20, then an hour. Magic wasn't in finding motivation. It was in building momentum through those small, consistent acts. I read books on craft, dissected stories I admired, and even, hesitantly, shared tiny fragments with a trusted friend. Her feedback, sometimes tough, was invaluable. Each small win, a perfectly crafted sentence, a character that felt real, a moment of flow became fuel. The doubt never fully disappeared, but its voice became quieter, less commanding. I started to understand that showing up wasn't about waiting for inspiration. It was about creating the conditions for inspiration to arrive. It was about building discipline, brick by painful brick. Months turned into a year, then another. That initial clumsy story in my old notebook slowly, painfully, became a full script. It wasn't perfect, but it was finished. The idea of putting it out there, of performing it, terrified me more than anything. But the no 0 days mantra had transformed me. I wasn't the person who gave up anymore. I auditioned for community theater production, a small role, but it required me to face a live audience. Then I decided to adapt my own script for a local storytelling event. That's what brought me to that makeshift stage. The fear was immense. My palms were sweating. My voice almost failed me in the first few lines. But then something clicked. The story took over. My months of effort, the early mornings, the self-doubt overcome, all coalesced into this one moment. I wasn't just reciting words. I was sharing a piece of my soul. When the applause came, it washed over me, not just for the story but for the journey. It was for the person I had become, someone who finally dared to show up. A practical principle I want to share with you is this. The secret to moving forward isn't sudden, overwhelming motivation. It's consistent, tiny action. Don't wait for the grand breakthrough. Create the conditions for it, one small step at a time. Pick one thing you've been putting off, one dream you've let languish. Break it down into the smallest possible unit of action, 5 minutes, one sentence, one email. Then commit to doing that every single day, no matter what. Don't worry about perfection, just worry about showing up. Momentum will build, and the transformation will follow. You don't need to see the whole staircase, just take the first step. My journey didn't end on that stage. New challenges emerged, new doubts surfaced. But now, I have a roadmap, a quiet confidence forged in the everyday grind. I know that the person who showed up for 15 minutes, day after day, is the same person who can stand on any stage, face any challenge, have that same capacity for quiet, relentless transformation within you. Don't let fear or the expectation of perfection hold you back any longer. What's the one small step you can take today towards the person you want to be, towards the life you truly want to live? Today, choose one small step. Open that file, send that email, dedicate 5 minutes to your passion.